Hello, today I'm going to be unboxing and giving you a first look at the ASUS ROG Strix X670E-E gaming Wi-Fi, which is currently on sale in the UK for just under £520 and is compatible with AMD's brand new Ryzen 7000 processors. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed and take a closer look at it. So this is everything that comes in the box with our motherboard. So we've got our user guide, we've got some stickers, some information about ASUS web storage, a thank you card and an ROG keychain. We've got a graphics card holder, we've got two SATA cables, one's got a right angle connector, one's got a straight connector, we've got the antenna for our Wi-Fi and some cable ties. We've then got a range of accessories for our M.2 SSDs. We've got this really beefy heatsink for our PCIe Gen 5 slots, so this is definitely a clue that the Gen 5 drives are going to run quite hot. We've got some Q latches and we've got some rubber and heat pads. Taking a closer look at the motherboard, starting off at the bottom, working from left to right. First of all, we've got a HD audio header, then a system fan header. We've got two 3-pin 5V ARGB connectors, a Thunderbolt header, and another system fan header. Then we've got three USB 2.0 headers, followed by another two system fan headers, and then at the bottom right hand side of the motherboard we've got our system panel header, which includes things like our front panel connectors, power LED and speaker headers, and chassis intrusion header. Just above this we've got an alternative PCIe mode switch, which switches the PCIe signals from the CPU between Gen 3 and Gen 4. With the lever all the way over to the right hand side, it's in auto mode. If we push it over to the middle, it will switch to Gen 4 mode, indicated by a green LED, and if we push it all the way over to the right hand side, it will be in Gen 3 mode, indicated by a yellow LED. Just to the right of this, we've got a CPU over voltage jumper, which allows you to set a higher CPU voltage for a flexible overclocking system. With the jumper on pins 1 and 2, this is turned off, and you need to move the jumper to pins 2 and 3 to enable this. Also, just below the bottom PCIe slot, we've got a temperature sensor header. Working up the right hand side of the motherboard, first of all we've got 4 SATA ports, then we've got a forward facing USB 3.2 Gen 1 header, followed by a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C front panel connector, followed by our 24-pin ATX power connector. We've then got the motherboard's fifth and final system fan header. We've then got a start button, the motherboard's third and final 3-pin 5V ARGB connector, and also a 4-pin 12V RGB header. Working along the top of the motherboard, first of all we've got our postcode screen and LEDs, which are going to help you troubleshoot any errors during the startup process. We've then got 3 CPU fan headers. There's one for the IO pump, one for CPU opt, and one for CPU fan header. And then at the top left hand side of the motherboard we've got two 8-pin EPS connectors. The motherboard features 18+2 power stages, and we've got massive heat sinks over the VRM with an integrated I/O cover connected with an L-shaped heat pipe. In the middle of the motherboard we've got the brand new AM5 socket, which is compatible with AMD's new Ryzen 7000 processors. To open the socket we need to push the lever down and towards the middle of the motherboard, and then we can lift the socket cover up. You'll notice that the pins are now in the socket rather than on the bottom of the CPU, which is definitely going to make installation easier. At the top and bottom of the socket we've got the standard AM5 cooler mounting brackets. The motherboard has 4 DDR5 slots and will accommodate up to a maximum of 128GB of RAM at 6400 MHz plus overclocked. The motherboard has 3x16 size PCIe slots, and the top 2 are PCIe Gen 5 slots, while the bottom one is a Gen 4 slot. With only one graphics card installed in the top slot, it will run in x16 mode, but if you occupy one of the other PCIe slots, this will drop to x8 mode. Likewise, if you install a drive in M.2 slot 3, this will drop the lanes available for the top PCIe slot to 8. The bottom 2 slots will run in x4 mode, and the Gen 5 slots get their PCIe lanes from the CPU, while the bottom Gen 4 slot gets its PCIe lanes from the chipset. It's good to see that the PCIe Gen 5 slots are reinforced, and the top slot has ASUS's Q-Release technology. So there's a button over to the right hand side, and if you press this, this opens the clip on the top PCIe slot. And this is really useful if you've got a large graphics card and bulky CPU cooler, preventing you accessing the clip. The motherboard features 4 M.2 slots, and we've got a really beefy heatsink over the top slot to help keep our Gen 5 drive cool. I'll go ahead and remove the heatsinks to give you a better look at things. So 3 of the M.2 slots are PCIe Gen 5x4 slots, while the upper slot over to the far right hand side of the motherboard is PCIe Gen 4x4. The PCIe Gen 5 lanes for the M.2 drives come from the CPU, while the Gen 4 lanes come from the chipset. It's important to note that if you install a drive in M.2 slot 3, which is the one at the bottom left hand side, that your first PCIe slot will drop from by 16 to by 8 mode. It's great to see the motherboard uses Q latches for securing the M.2 SSDs, which makes installing your drives straightforward and fast. Out of the box, the top PCIe Gen 5 M.2 slot includes a really beefy heatsink, while in the box ASUS include an optional beefy heatsink for the bottom 2 PCIe Gen 5 slots. Taking a look at the rear I/O, as you'd expect with a motherboard in this price point, it includes an integrated I/O shield. So we've got HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 1.4 ports. We've got 3 Type-C ports. The top 2 are USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, while the bottom one is a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 port, which supports speeds up to 20 gigabits per second. Over to the right of these ports, we've got 10 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports. We've got a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet port. We've got clear CMOS and BIOS flashback buttons. We've got the antenna for our Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.3. And then we've got our gold-plated audio connectors for our 7.1 HD surround sound. So this is not only a great looking motherboard, but it's got a whole host of premium features that are going to let you get the most out of your brand new Ryzen 7000 processor. So I'm really looking forward to doing a build on the channel with it shortly, so keep an eye out for that. If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for watching.